Hi guys, my name is Yor, I'm for ADSR here, and today I want to talk about chord functions. Before I do that though, I would like to remind you to subscribe to the ADSR channel to get more videos like this, including some more music theory tutorials that are planned for the near future. So with that out of the way, what are chord functions or functional chords? Functional chords are the system of using chords where we divide all of the chords inside a scale into three main functional categories. So normally when you have a scale, you can give each step of the scale a number. We call those scale degrees. So let's say we start with an A minor scale, which, if as you might know, is all the white notes on a piano: A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And each of these can have a number which we call the scale degree. So in this case, this is the A minor scale. The A would be the 1, the B would be the 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you would go back to 1 to the A, an octave higher. So these are scale degrees, and we can build chords upon these. So we can build a 1 chord on the first scale degree, we can build a 2 chord on the second scale degree, and this is how we often label our chords. We say something like play a 2-5-1 progression, which then would be the 2 chord, the 5 chord, and the 1 chord, which in the case of A minor would be B and then E and then A. So that's how that works, and we can sort of randomly choose these numbers and make chords out of them or progressions out of them. But with functional chords, we use these chords in a specific order. The three main categories that we have are tonic, predominant, and dominant. And tonic chords, the first sort of type of chords, the first functional category, it has the 1 and the 6th chord. And the 1 chord we already have here, which is an A, and then the 6th chord would be built upon the 6th scale degree, so that would be an F, and it looks like this. And these are both tonic chords. And you can see that if I take these top 2 notes of the 6th chord and I move them down, it looks very similar to the 1 chord. So that's why both of these have the same function. Then there's dominant chords, and dominant chords are meant to be used at the end of progression just before going back to the 1 chord. And they are 5 and 7. So 5 would be E. Let's make that a major chord, like that. And then we have 7, which would be the G. So it looks like that. So now, if we move these here, we get 2 tonic chords and then we get 2 dominant chords. So they're different chords, but they function in the same way. And you can feel that with these dominant chords, we cannot really leave them like this. It feels a little bit unfinished. And that's because they really want to go back to a tonic chord like this one. They want to resolve to that, if we want to use music theory terminology, and then it sounds finished. So we have our tonic chords, which we use at the beginning and at the end of a progression. Then we have our dominant chords, which we use towards the end of a progression, just before going back to the tonic chord. But then there's also the predominant or subdominant chords, which are chords that go in between the tonic and the dominant chords, and they are 2 and 4. So 2 would be B in the case of A minor, so this would be a 2 chord. And then 4 would be D, so this would be a 4 chord, like that. So now we have 2 tonic chords, 2 predominant or subdominant chords, 2 dominant chords, and another tonic chord. And although this sounds very sloppy and sort of blocky right now, you should already hear that this progression, it has a sense of movement. Like here, we feel a little bit relaxed, and then here we feel a little bit more tense. Here there's a maximum amount of tension, and then we feel relaxed again. It tells a story all by itself, and that is the power of functional chord progressions. So I want to go with one more example, and then we're going to do more videos about this topic, because I know we're going kind of fast. But this is just to show you the main ideas. So let's build a progression. Let's say a 1 5 1 6 5 or 5 7 5 7 1 progression, which sounds very complicated, but we're going to figure that out. For this, let's use the key of C major, which, as you might know, is all the white notes on the piano from C to C. So it's going to be C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And the first chord of C major is, of course, going to be a C chord, which is a major chord, and it has a C, an E, and a G. Then we said we wanted to go to the 5 chord. So again, if we count to 5 inside our scale, we end up at the G chord. So let's make a G chord there. And then we go back to a 1 chord, like that. So it's going to be our C again. Then we go to a 6th chord, which is an A minor chord. Looks like that. And then we're going to go to a 5/7 of 5 chord. And the 5/7 of 5 chord is the 5th of the 5th. So the 5th was a G in the key of C. If we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we end up at G. And then if we want to find the 5th, we just build our G chord and we take the 5th of that, which is the D. So the D is the 5th note of G, which by itself is the 5th note of C. So this 5 chord, it has a 5 chord by itself, and that's what we use here. So we're gonna create a D major chord here, which wants to resolve to this 5 chord. And then we'll make this a 5/7 chord by adding the F to that. So we add a dominant 7th on top of there, and then we'll go to a 1 chord again, which was going to be C, E, and G. So this is the whole progression. It looks very ugly right now. That's because we haven't done any voice leading yet. So let's take some of these notes and invert them. So they will still be the same chords, but they're just a little bit smoother to avoid these big jumps in the chords. So something like that, maybe like this. Alright, so let's listen to a first very full functional progression. So hopefully you can hear the sense of story in there. Now there's a lot of different ways you can use this, and I'm gonna make some more videos about this in the future. But just for now, this should give you at least an introduction to the idea of using functional chords. And definitely go out and do some more research on this, because it's a very interesting and very valid approach to making longer sections of music, which can be incredibly useful. All right, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.